Welcome to the Westbrook English channel for today's deep dive. We are really excited you're here.
Yes, welcome. We have a really fascinating topic today.
We really do. I mean, think about this for a second. What if getting rejected for your absolute dream job was actually, the best thing to ever happen to you?
Right. Or what if doing something as completely boring as washing dirty dishes could literally change the physical structure of your brain?
It sounds wild, but today we are exploring a stack of sources all about one powerful concept. We are looking at the science, the daily practice, and the biological impact of being grateful.
And, the word gratitude often sounds like just a soft, fluffy idea, like something you read on a greeting card.
Right, like a nice thought, but not real science.
Exactly.
Hmm.
But the materials we are diving into today prove that gratitude is actually a measurable, incredibly powerful mental shift. It physically alters how your nervous system works.
So our mission for this deep dive is to really break down the science behind that shift. We want to explore the why, the how, and the what for.
Yes, and most importantly, we are going to give you, the listener, very practical tools to build your own gratitude muscle.
Because by the end of our time together, you will understand how to turn everyday chores into biological privileges and how to protect your mind when life gets really difficult.
But before we jump into the tools and the daily habits, I think we really need to understand the biological baseline.
Starting point, right?
Right. We have to look at the brain's original programming. So, our sources explain that the human brain actually comes pre-installed with something called a negativity bias.
A negativity bias. I mean, that sounds like we are set up to fail right from the start. What exactly does that mean?
Well, it is an evolutionary survival mechanism. Deep inside your brain, there is this small almond-shaped structure. It's called the amygdala.
Okay, the amygdala.
And the amygdala is basically your brain's threat detector. So think back thousands of years ago. This threat detector is what kept humans alive.
Right, because if you were walking in the forest, your brain needed to immediately focus on the dangerous tiger hiding in the bushes.
Exactly. It could not afford to just focus on the pretty flowers.
Because admiring the flowers gets you eaten.
Precisely. So the brain learned over time that negative information is essential for survival. Positive information is just, well, a nice bonus.
Oh, wow.
Neuroscientists actually say that the brain acts like Velcro for negative experiences.
Velcro, meaning they stick instantly.
Yes, but it acts like Teflon for positive experiences, meaning the good things just slide right off unless we make a real effort to hold on to them.
That makes so much sense. I mean, today, we're obviously not running from tigers, but our brains still naturally focus on the bad, the stressful, and the dangerous things.
Right. The programming hasn't changed.
Okay, let's unpack this. I like to think of this negativity bias like an oversensitive car alarm.
Oh, I like that.
You know those car alarms that are just incredibly annoying?
Uh-huh.
A strong breeze blows by or large truck drives down the street, and suddenly the car alarm is screaming.
Yes.
It thinks there is a terrible, life-threatening emergency. But really, you are completely safe. It is literally just the wind.
That is a perfect visualization of how the amygdala works in the modern world. Your brain's threat detector is that oversensitive car alarm.
And it just keeps going off.
Constantly. It floods your body with stress hormones like cortisol, even when you are not in true physical danger. Like, a stressful email arrives and the car alarm screams.
So practicing gratitude is basically a way of actively reprogramming that internal alarm system. We are intervening.
Yes, we are actively showing the brain, look at this good thing. We have food. We have a safe place to sleep.
Right. We're teaching the nervous system to recognize that we are actually secure. And that tells the body to finally start producing cortisol and just relax.
And that reprogramming process has a scientific name. It is called neuroplasticity.
Neuroplasticity.
Right. It is the brain's ability to physically change its structure based on what we focus on. When you intentionally rewire your brain to notice the good, you actually build new neural pathways.
So you decrease your stress levels and you build what the sources call an emotional buffer.
Exactly. An emotional buffer.
Meaning, when life inevitably gets difficult, that reprogramming protects you. It creates this space between you and the immediate panic. But Our sources emphasize a very crucial point here.
They do.
Building this buffer does not mean ignoring the bad things.
No, not at all. The concept of gratitude is very often misunderstood as toxic positivity.
Right, just slapping a smile on everything.
Exactly. And we are not suggesting you pretend everything is perfect. You still see the bad things. You still feel genuine sadness, anger, or frustration.
Gratitude simply means remembering that the bad isn't the only thing that exists. It reminds the brain that safety and goodness can exist at the exact same time as the difficulty.
Well said. But, understanding that gratitude physically rewires the alarm system in our brains, that is incredible science.
It is.
But knowledge alone doesn't actually change the brain. We have to trigger this neuroplasticity. So how do we actually do it?
Well, our sources make it very clear that it requires active, consistent practice. Being grateful is exactly like building a physical muscle in the gym.
Right. You do not build strong muscles by lifting a heavy weight one single time.
Exactly. You build muscle by lifting manageable weights consistently, day after day. The exact same principle applies to the brain. We have to weave simple habits into our daily routine.
So let's walk through those specific exercises for the gratitude muscle. The first habit from our sources is called the 3 good things rule.
The 3 good things rule.
Okay. This is a highly researched practice. Every single night before you go to sleep, you mentally note, or better yet, you write down on paper 3 specific things that went well that day.
And these do not have to be massive victories, right? Like you don't have to get a promotion at work to write something down.
Oh, not at all. Actually, the smaller, the better.
Really? Why is that?
Because noticing the small things forces the brain to search harder, and that searching is the real workout for those neural pathways.
I see.
So it could be that you had a really delicious cup of warm coffee, or maybe you caught a green traffic light when you were running late.
By doing this every night, you are training something called the reticular activating system in the brain.
Right.
That's the filter that decides what information gets your attention. I mean, think about it like this. If you buy a red car, suddenly you start seeing red cars everywhere.
Yes.
The cars were always there, but your brain is now filtering for them. Writing down 3 good things trains your brain to automatically scan the world for positive moments.
That is a great example. And that brings us right to the second daily exercise. This one focuses on the words we use.
A language shift.
Yes, the sources suggest a very specific language shift. We need to change the phrase, I have to, into the phrase, I get to.
So instead of saying, I have to go to work today, which makes the day feel like a heavy burden, you say, I get to go to work today.
Exactly. Or instead of saying, I have to clean the kitchen, you say, I get to clean the kitchen. It takes a chore and reframes it as a privilege. Language fundamentally shapes our cognitive reality.
Okay, wait. I need to challenge this playfully for a second.
Go ahead.
Looking at a towering pile of dirty, crusted dishes after a really long day and forcing yourself to say, I get to do this. I mean, doesn't that feel a bit like tricking yourself? It feels unnatural. Aren't we just lying to ourselves about a miserable chore?
I completely understand why it feels unnatural initially. Your brain's negativity bias is actively fighting the change.
Right.
But cognitive reframing is not a trick. You are forcing the brain to acknowledge the underlying biological and environmental facts. Think about what dirty dishes actually represent.
Well, they represent a mess.
They represent a mess, yes, but they also represent the fact that you had plenty of food to eat, which is what created the dirty dishes in the first place.
Oh, wow. Okay.
They represent the fact that you have a secure home with a kitchen. They represent the fact that you have clean running water.
That is a huge perspective shift.
It is. Historically and globally, having a safe kitchen to clean is a profound privilege.
Oh.
So you aren't lying to yourself about the dishes being dirty. You are simply widening your perspective to include the truth about your safety.
And that completely changes the physical sensation of the chore. When you frame it as a privilege, your body's stress response just drops. You aren't fighting the task anymore.
Exactly. You are relaxed.
So what's the third habit for building this gratitude muscle?
The third habit is really about the speed at which we live. The practice is called savor the moment.
Savor the moment.
Yes. When a positive event happens, our fast-paced lives usually force us to just rush right past it. But to change the brain, you need to pause for exactly 10 seconds.
Wait, why specifically 10 seconds? What is the biological mechanism there?
Well, it goes back to that idea of Velcro and Teflon. Because positive experiences slide off the brain like Teflon, they require time to transfer from our short-term memory buffer into our long-term neural storage. And this process relies on chemicals like dopamine and serotonin. So if you take a bite of a delicious meal or feel a warm breeze and you immediately look down at your phone,
The experience just evaporates.
it evaporates. But if you pause, if you close your eyes and hold your attention on that positive feeling for 10 to 20 seconds, you give your brain enough time to release dopamine.
Oh, I see.
That chemical release literally consolidates the memory. It builds a new neural connection. You are actively installing the good experience into your brain's hardware.
Wow. So we are literally rewiring our own brains. We are writing down 3 good things. We are changing I have to I get to, and we are holding positive moments for 10 seconds to lock in the dopamine.
That is the daily workout.
But this biological shift doesn't just survive in a vacuum, right?
Yeah.
How does this internal change alter how we interact with the external world? Where do we direct this new mental strength?
That is a great question. The sources outline 3 vital areas of external connection. These are areas that humans almost universally take for granted.
Okay.
The first one is our Earth, our physical environment.
Right. Our planet sustains us every single second. We
Mhm.
breathe the air, we drink the water, and we rarely even think about it.
So true.
The sources suggest we can show our appreciation through mindful awareness. And this basically means intentionally pausing to engage our senses, like stopping to actually feel the heat of the sun on your skin, or actively listening to the sound of rain hitting a window.
Because mindful awareness grounds your nervous system in the present physical moment. And the second way we show appreciation to the Earth is through reciprocity.
Reciprocity, giving back.
Right, giving something back through our behavior. It is the act of reducing your waste, carefully conserving water, or planting something in the soil. It translates a feeling of gratitude into a physical action.
I love that. And the second area we need to direct our gratitude toward is our family. And honestly, this is often the most difficult area to practice gratitude in.
It really is.
Because we feel so secure and comfortable around our family members, they usually just receive our leftover energy. We spend all our best energy being polite, patient, and hardworking for strangers and colleagues all day long.
It is a very common dynamic. We assume our family will just love us unconditionally, so we don't put in the effort to actively appreciate them.
Think about your smartphone. You use your phone constantly throughout the day. You check emails, you navigate traffic, you watch videos.
Right.
By the time you walk through your front door at night, your phone battery is at 1%. It is flashing red. It is completely drained.
So you know that feeling.
Giving your family your leftover energy is like coming home and only giving that last, dying 1% of your battery to the most important people in your entire life.
Oh, wow. That is a brilliant analogy. When we operate on 1%, we are irritable. We are distracted.
Exactly.
So how do we recharge that dynamic? The sources suggest the practice of active listening. This means giving a family member your full, undivided cognitive attention.
And what's the absolute most critical rule for that?
You must do it without looking at a screen. Setting the phone face down, looking the person in the eyes, and actually listening to their words.
Yes. Biologically, eye contact and undivided attention trigger the release of oxytocin, which is the bonding hormone. It is like finally plugging that relationship into a charger. You are actively giving them energy instead of draining them.
The sources also emphasize the necessity of verbal thanks.
Oh, this is a big one.
It is. Human beings are terrible at reading minds. Do not assume your partner or your child already knows you appreciate them. You have to speak the words out loud.
Like actually say the words.
Yes, say, thank you for making dinner. Say, I really appreciate how hard you worked today. Speaking the gratitude makes it real for both of you.
And this external shift applies to the third group as well, our friends. Because friends are the family we consciously choose to keep. The materials highlight a practice called the just because text.
Yes, the just because text. This is a simple but incredibly effective way to strengthen social bonds.
How does it work?
It is just sending a quick message out of nowhere. No birthday, no holiday, no special occasion, just a message saying, hey, I was just thinking of you, and I am so grateful to have you as a friend.
That is so easy, but so impactful. We also show appreciation for friends by simply showing up.
Right.
Just being physically and emotionally present to celebrate their big victories without jealousy and supporting them when they face failures. It creates this social buffering effect where you mutually protect each other from stress.
So we have discussed finding gratitude in washing the dishes in the sunshine and in our social circles. But the ultimate test of this mental framework is adversity.
The hard times.
Yes. What happens when the system crashes? How does gratitude function when things go completely horribly wrong?
This is such an important part of the deep dive. Our sources explore what happens when a major door closes in your life. Perhaps a job you desperately wanted just falls through.
Or maybe a long-term romantic relationship abruptly ends. Or a business plan you invested years into completely fails.
The psychological pain in those moments is severe. But the sources suggest viewing severe adversity through the lens of cognitive reappraisal.
Cognitive reappraisal.
Yes, which is the belief that rejection is often just redirection.
So what does this all mean? Why is that specific lens so critical in a moment of pain?
Well, because it completely shifts your internal dialogue. When a door slams shut, your amygdala fires up, and the immediate reaction is to ask, why is this happening to me?
Right, which is the state of victimhood.
Exactly. It makes you feel completely helpless and paralyzed.
Yeah.
But if you have trained your gratitude muscle, you're able to stop asking, why is this happening to me? And you start asking, what is this teaching me?
What is this teaching me? That is powerful.
It takes the cognitive power back. It reframes a failure as data. It reframes a rejection as life just steering you away from a path that was not right for you and pushing you toward a better fit.
But how do we actually do this without falling into that toxic positivity we talked about?
That's the challenge, right?
Right. How does someone maintain a grateful heart and actively look for a lesson in the exact moment a door closes in their face? It seems impossible to experience sharp, devastating pain and feel grateful at the exact same moment without dismissing your own suffering.
And that is the core challenge of the human experience. The pain of a breakup or a lost job is real. You are allowed to grieve. You're allowed to cry. Gratitude does not magically erase the suffering.
Then what does it do in that moment?
It keeps your cognitive aperture open.
Yeah.
Let me explain. Think about how the brain reacts to intense anger or fear. The nervous system goes into a fight or flight state.
Yes, total panic.
When that happens, your visual and mental focus physically narrows. You develop tunnel vision. You can only see the threat. You become completely blind to everything else around you.
Oh, I understand. So if you only focus on the pain of the closed door, you are basically walking around with your eyes tightly squeezed shut.
Precisely. But if you hold on to gratitude, if you remind your brain that there is still goodness in the world and that you are safe, your nervous system calms down.
The tunnel vision expands.
Yes, your eyes remain open. And because your eyes remain open, you will be able to see the next great opportunity the exact moment it arrives.
Yeah.
If you remain blind with anger, you will literally walk right past the new open door.
Rejection is just redirection, but you have to keep your eyes open to actually see where you are being directed. That changes absolutely everything.
It really does. So let's take a moment to briefly recap the incredible scientific and emotional journey we have taken today.
Good idea.
We started by exploring our brain's amygdala, that negativity bias that acts as an oversensitive car alarm, constantly flooding us with stress.
Right. And we learned that through the process of neuroplasticity, we can rewire that alarm. We do this by building our gratitude muscle with consistent daily habits.
Yes, we train our brain's filter by finding 3 good things. We drop our cortisol levels by changing I have to into I get to. And we consolidate positive memories by pausing to savor them for 10 seconds.
We then explored how to push that biological shift outward, giving our full charged battery to our earth, our family, and our friends through active listening, eye contact, and speaking our thanks out loud.
Finally, we learned how gratitude prevents tunnel vision. It keeps our cognitive aperture wide open so we can see the new opportunities when life hands us a painful rejection.
It is a complete, scientifically backed toolkit for fundamentally changing how you experienced reality.
It truly is. But before we end our deep dive, I want to leave you, our listener, with one final provocative thought to explore on your own.
What is it?
Well, we learned today that the human brain has a natural negativity bias. We have to actively work hard to rewire it. But think about the modern digital world we live in.
Oh, boy.
Think about the device in your pocket. Think about the constant flashing news alerts and the endless habit of doom scrolling through stressful social media feeds.
The modern attention economy.
Exactly. What if the modern digital economy is built to exploit your brain's negativity bias on purpose?
Wow.
What if these platforms are intentionally triggering your internal car alarm over and over again because fear and outrage are what keep you clicking?
That makes perfect sense.
It makes you wonder. Perhaps aggressively protecting your daily attention from digital negativity is the required first step. If you allow your alarm system to be triggered constantly by a screen, it is biologically impossible for your gratitude muscle to grow.
That is a very profound concept to consider. You cannot grow a delicate plant in a toxic environment. You have to protect the space where the mind operates.
Exactly. Well, we have reached the end of our deep dive today. Thank you so much for joining us on the Westbrook English channel. We really hope you leave this conversation feeling a little lighter, a little stronger, and equipped to start rewiring your world.
Yes, go out and practice that I get to mindset today. Notice the small things.
And please, don't forget to subscribe to the Westbrook English channel for more deep dives just like this one. We have so many more fascinating topics to explore together.
We sure do.
Until next time, protect your attention, keep your eyes wide open for the good things, and goodbye.
Goodbye, everyone.